In a small classroom on Earth, sunlight streamed weakly through dusty windows. The walls were decorated with faded posters of great explorers and heroes who had faced the Deathworld trials. Every year, students from this school were sent to a planet so deadly that few returned alive. The government insisted every young person take the test. Failure meant death, and everyone knew it. At the very back of the room, near a cracked window, sat a boy named Aaron Hale. He never spoke. He never raised his hand. He never joined conversations. Most students ignored him. Some thought he was weak. Others thought he was strange. Teachers watched him with pity, convinced he would be the first to die in the trials. But Aaron never reacted. He simply watched, calm, almost as if he was waiting for something. One cold morning, the silence in the classroom was shattered. The door opened and the principal entered, flanked by 2 soldiers. Their uniforms were dark, their faces unreadable. A tense hush fell over the room. The principal cleared his throat. "Students," he said, voice steady, "today is the day you face the Deathworld trials." Gasps spread across the room. A girl cried softly. A boy clenched his fists. Fear filled every corner. But Aaron simply blinked, barely acknowledging the announcement. "You will be transported in 1 hour," the principal continued. "Pack your basic gear. Remember, survival is your responsibility." As the principal left, the room erupted. "Oh no, I'm not ready," shouted one boy. "We're going to die," cried another. A nervous group laughed, trying to hide their fear. One boy leaned toward Aaron and said, "Hey, quiet guy, you won't last even a minute." Laughter echoed. Aaron didn't respond. He closed his notebook. For a brief moment, sunlight hit his eyes. They glimmered faintly like embers hidden beneath ash. No one noticed. No one ever did. Aaron stood, picked up his small bag and walked out without a word. Outside, the students gathered at the transport station. Massive buses marked with the symbol of the Galaxy Defense Authority waited. Soldiers checked IDs, their scanners beeping at each student. When Aaron approached, the scanner beeped strangely. The soldier frowned. "Strange reading," he muttered, scanning again. Aaron only looked down. After a moment, the soldier shook his head and let him pass. Inside the bus, students whispered and prayed, some screaming, some silent. Aaron sat alone, staring out the window. Clouds rushed past as the bus lifted into the sky. Soon they entered a military ship waiting in orbit. The interior was cold, metallic, and silent except for the digital voice echoing. "Prepare for planetary entry. Deathworld Gamma 9. Danger level, extreme." Students screamed again. Aaron remained motionless, calm as ever. The ship shook violently as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Flames licked the windows. Thunder roared. Dust swirled. Yet Aaron's heartbeat was steady. When the ship finally landed, doors hissed open. Smoke, dust, and a strange green light poured in. The sky was dark purple. The wind carried a deep, heavy sound, like the breath of something enormous. One boy whispered, trembling, "What is this place?" The ground shook violently. A shadow moved through a forest of sharp black trees. Its size was unimaginable, larger than a building. 2 glowing eyes pierced the gloom. Students panicked, pushing each other. Some ran blindly. The teachers tried to shout commands, but fear froze their voices. Aaron stood silently, watching. His eyes reflected the glowing eyes of the creature. And for the first time, the ember in his gaze flared brighter, unnoticed by anyone. The beast let out a deafening roar. Rocks flew. Dust filled the air. A girl tripped near Aaron, crying for help. Without hesitation, Aaron stepped forward. He grabbed her arm, pulling her out of danger. Then, in one fluid motion, he dodged the monster's massive claw. It swung through the air and smashed into the ground behind them. You moved so fast," the girl whispered, eyes wide. Aaron didn't answer. He simply guided her to safety. The creature roared again, confused by his speed and calm demeanor. Its massive claws and teeth struck empty air as Aaron moved, faster than any human should. Students watched in disbelief. Teachers froze. Even the creature seemed unsure of its prey. Aaron whispered softly, unheard by others, "This world, it's testing us." One teacher shouted, "Do not move. Weapons ready?" But nothing could stop the monster. Aaron continued, almost bored, avoiding every strike with precision. Finally, he stepped forward and touched the creature's chest. A pulse of force erupted. The beast crashed backward, stunned. Silence fell. The forest seemed to pause. Students peeked from hiding, trembling. "Who is he?" someone whispered. Aaron looked at the dark horizon, calm, steady, faintly glowing eyes scanning the forest. He spoke quietly but all could hear. This is only the beginning. The real danger is coming. The wind whispered through the broken trees. The death world had begun its true trial. And at the center of it all stood the quiet human no one had ever noticed. The boy who might survive when legends fell. The forest was quiet, but the silence was heavy, almost alive. Students huddled behind rocks and broken trees, trembling, their faces pale with fear. Dust and smoke from the fallen titan still hung in the air, shimmering under the strange purple sky. Aaron stood at the edge of the rocky hill, calm, faintly glowing blue eyes scanning the forest. "Where are they?" whispered one boy. "The monsters? Are they coming back?" Aaron didn't answer. He crouched slightly, listening. His senses stretched beyond human limits. He could feel the heat signatures, hear the soft rustle of movement, and sense pressure in the air, the signs of creatures approaching. "They're not coming back, yet," he finally said, his voice calm but firm. "They're scouts. The real hunters, the Deathworld hunters, are approaching." A cold wave of fear passed through the students. The forest suddenly erupted. From the shadows, dark, wolf-like creatures leaped forward. Their eyes glowed red. Their claws dug into the rocky ground. Drool dripped from their sharp teeth. 7, then 10, then more, they surrounded the hill, moving with terrifying speed and silence. "Run!" someone screamed, panicked. Aaron stepped forward, raising a hand. His eyes glowed brighter, a faint blue flame flickering in his pupils. "No," he said. "They are not here for you. They are here to test me." The first hunter lunged at him. In a blink, Aaron caught it by the throat midair. The creature struggled, biting, clawing, snapping its jaws, but Aaron's grip never faltered. With a twist, he threw it violently into the rocky hillside. Others leaped forward, but Aaron moved faster than they could see. He used their own momentum, dodging, deflecting, and sometimes throwing them against each other. Students and teachers watched in horror. Movements too fast to track, strikes that never hit, and yet every action precise. Aaron wasn't fighting for survival. He was controlling the battlefield. They can't be human," whispered a girl with wide eyes. "No, he is human. Just not like us." Aaron's eyes scanned the forest. "They travel in packs, sometimes 10, 12. They hunt the weak. But I can slow them. That is enough." A distant beep echoed above the hill. A metallic drone hovered, scanning them. Aaron's eyes narrowed. "They are watching," he muttered under his breath. The students froze. "The government, always watching when my power activates." The hunters shifted, circling the hill. Their claws scraped rocks, teeth glowing with deadly energy. Their growls echoed across the clearing, bouncing off the cliffs like a warning. Aaron stepped to the edge of the hill, silent, poised, calm. "They are testing my strength. Observing my limits. That is their purpose." "Limits?" one boy yelled. "We are going to die." Aaron glanced at the students. His voice was soft but firm. "No. You are here to survive. I am here to slow them. Follow my lead. Stay together. Do not panic." From the forest floor, a massive branch cracked underfoot. A lone hunter leaped straight for the injured girl. Aaron didn't hesitate. In a motion too fast to see, he intercepted the creature midair. The hunter's body went limp under his grip. Students gasped. He had saved her again. More hunters approached. They were bigger, stronger, faster. Their movements coordinated. Their teeth glowed with alien energy. Aaron took a deep breath. His hands relaxed. He didn't strike immediately. He let the hunters come closer, reading their attacks, predicting their moves. Every step they took was mirrored in his mind. "You can't fight all of them," a teacher shouted, panic in his voice. Aaron nodded slowly. "I can't. But I can slow them. That is enough. Survival doesn't mean victory. It means control. One step at a time." A massive hunter charged from the left, leaping high. Aaron vanished. 1 second he was on the hill, the next, behind the creature. He twisted its neck and threw it to the ground with a force that made rocks explode outward. 2 more leaped simultaneously. Aaron spun, grabbing one, using its body as a shield to block the second. "Unbelievable," whispered a student. "He moves too fast, too precise." The hunters hesitated, confused. They had never encountered prey like this. They roared and attacked as a pack, but Aaron was everywhere, controlling the fight without losing his calm. He glanced at the students. "The real threat is coming," he said softly. "These are just scouts. The death world itself adapts. It will send stronger tests. We must reach higher ground." Climbing the hill was difficult. Sharp rocks tore at shoes and hands. The injured girl slipped, and Aaron's hand was there instantly, steadying her. His strength was effortless yet precise, like a surgeon's touch. From the forest the pack spread. Their glowing eyes reflected intelligence, strategy. They were not mindless. They studied, circled, waited. Aaron's eyes flickered with faint blue light. He could sense their heat signatures, predict their paths, know their weaknesses. "Do not panic," he whispered. "The hunters do not climb first. They circle. They study. They wait for weakness." A boy trembled. "Who is the weakest?" Aaron's eyes narrowed. "The weakest is the one who panics. That is not us." Suddenly a sharp click sounded. The hunters were communicating. One jumped, striking the base of the hill. Rocks shattered. Dust exploded. The pack was close. The forest trembled under their weight. Aaron stepped forward. His eyes glowed brighter, blue threads flickering. "They are testing me. Observing. Learning. Not hunting yet." The students clung to one another, terror and awe mixing in their expressions. Aaron looked ahead at the approaching hunters. His voice, calm and cold, echoed across the clearing. "This trial is only the beginning. The core of the Deathworld awaits. There the truth will be revealed. Prepare yourselves. The hunt has just begun." Above them, the sky darkened further. Shadows moved in the distance. The students realized the forest itself felt alive, watching, waiting. And at the center of it all, stood Aaron Hale. The quiet human no one noticed, the boy who could survive what no one else could. The air trembled. The Deathworld hunters had spread through the forest, their glowing eyes reflecting in the shadows like scattered stars. Rocks and twisted trees shivered under their steps. Every movement of the pack was calculated, coordinated. The students clung together atop the hill, their faces pale with fear. Aaron stood at the edge, calm, glowing faintly blue. His eyes scanned the forest, noting every rustle, every heat signature. "They are closing in," he whispered. "Be ready but do not panic." The first hunter leapt. Its claws struck the rocks with a deafening crash. Dust erupted into the air. The students screamed. One of the teachers shouted, "Aaron, run! Get them off us!" Aaron didn't move backward. He simply stepped to the side. The hunter's momentum carried it past him. With a twist of his body, Aaron grabbed its neck and slammed it into the ground. The forest shook under the impact. Other hunters circled, snarling, teeth glowing like molten energy. "They're learning," Aaron murmured. "They adapt. They won't make the same mistake twice." Another hunter jumped from the shadows, bigger than the first. Aaron vanished. One second he was on the hill, the next he stood behind the creature, grabbing it midair and throwing it off the cliff. Students gasped. He's teleporting," one whispered. "No," Aaron corrected quietly. "I move faster than they can see. That is all." The pack hesitated. They had never faced prey like this. Even the Deathworld itself seemed to pause, waiting to see how the boy would respond. The hunters adjusted, moving faster, striking with precision, trying to corner him. Aaron's hands glowed faintly blue as he read their movements. He didn't attack recklessly. He blocked, deflected, and redirected. Each strike was calculated, each motion deliberate. The forest echoed with growls, crashes, and the metallic sound of rocks shattering under force. One hunter lunged straight at the injured girl. Aaron reacted instantly, catching the creature midair and slamming it to the ground. The girl's eyes widened. How can one human do this?" she whispered. Aaron's eyes flickered with blue fire. "This is not about me," he said softly. "It's about controlling the battlefield. Survival is strategy, not strength alone." The hunters roared, circling the hill. Their energy glowed brighter, their teeth sharper, their claws deadlier. They were coordinating, adapting to Aaron's movements. One jumped high, claws aiming for his head. Aaron vanished again, reappearing behind the hunter. He grabbed it by the jaw and threw it into another, using them as shields against the pack. A student gasped. "He isn't human, he's a weapon." Aaron's eyes flickered brighter. "I am human," he said quietly. "But I was chosen, trained, tested. This is what I am meant to do." The ground shook as more hunters approached from the forest depths. Their numbers were growing. Red eyes, yellow eyes, glowing energy in their mouths. The students pressed close together, terrified. One teacher asked shakily, "Aaron, how many more are there?" Aaron's gaze flicked to the horizon. The forest floor pulsed faintly, alive. Enough to overwhelm any normal human. But I am not normal. They are scouts, the real trial is still ahead. Suddenly, a massive branch cracked and a new creature leapt, larger than the ones before. Its claws were like blades, its teeth jagged, glowing red. The students screamed. "Run!" they cried. Aaron stepped forward. His eyes glowed stronger now, threads of blue lightning flickering across his skin. The wind swirled around him. "This is only a test," he whispered. "The hunters are not the final enemy. Stay behind me." The creature lunged. Aaron vanished. He reappeared on its back, moving faster than thought itself. With a kick, he struck its skull. Boom. The creature roared, staggering backward. Others attacked simultaneously, but Aaron moved with perfect precision. He grabbed one, twisted, and used its momentum to throw it into another. Students and teachers were frozen, awe and terror mixing in their eyes. How is this possible?" one whispered. Aaron didn't answer. His focus was on the forest, on the pack, on the signals in the air. He could feel their strategy, anticipate their attacks. One by one, hunters fell or retreated, confused and battered. A sharp, metallic beep sounded above. A government drone hovered, scanning him. Aaron's eyes narrowed. "They always watch when I activate my power," he muttered. "It's time to move. The core awaits." The forest trembled as the last hunters retreated into the shadows. The purple sky darkened further. Dust and smoke hung heavy. The students stared at Aaron, trembling. He had protected them, controlled the battlefield, and survived when legends had fallen before. Aaron turned toward the darker part of the forest. "The hunters are gone for now. But the Deathworld itself is watching. The true trial is ahead. Follow me." Higher ground. Core zone. The group began moving, stepping carefully over rocks and broken trees. The forest seemed alive, every step echoing with anticipation. The injured girl leaned heavily on Aaron, who guided her silently. The students followed, fear and awe binding them together. "Aaron," whispered Mr. Lean, "why are we here? Why these trials?" Aaron didn't answer immediately. His eyes flickered with faint blue light. This world, it was built to test humans. Not for sport, not for death, but to find strength, hidden potential. Ones who can face what is coming. The students exchanged nervous glances. "What is coming?" one asked. Aaron glanced at the sky. Far beyond the purple clouds, beyond the dark forest, he could see hints of movement, shadows across the stars. "Something far worse than anything here," he said softly. "And when it comes, humanity must be ready. That is why we survive." A cold wind swept through the forest. The shadows deepened. The core awaited. And at the center of it all stood Aaron Hale, the quiet boy, the unseen, the weapon of humanity, leading the students into the heart of the Deathworld. The hill gave way to a dark, twisted forest. Trees were jagged and black, their branches like claws reaching toward the sky. The air smelled of metal and ozone, and the ground pulsed beneath their feet, as if the planet itself was alive. The students followed Aaron closely, silent, hearts pounding, every sound magnified in the eerie quiet. This place feels wrong," one girl whispered, glancing around nervously. Aaron didn't answer. His blue eyes glowed faintly, scanning the ground and air simultaneously. He could sense movement, energy, and danger in ways the others couldn't even imagine. "The core is ahead," he said softly. "Everything you've faced so far was only preparation." The group moved carefully. Broken rocks, alien flora, and deep fissures in the ground slowed their progress. The injured girl leaned on Aaron for support, but he didn't falter. Every step he took was deliberate, measured, safe. Suddenly the ground trembled violently. A deafening roar echoed across the forest. The students froze. From the shadows, a massive creature emerged, larger than any hunter or titan they had seen before. Its skin was armored, black as obsidian, veins glowing red. Its eyes burned with a malevolent intelligence. "The trial? It's escalating," whispered Mr. Lean. Aaron's eyes glowed brighter. "This is the true test," he said quietly. "Not just strength, but endurance, strategy, and control." The creature lunged, claws swinging. Dust and rocks exploded around them. Aaron vanished in a streak of blue light and reappeared behind the beast. In one motion he grabbed its jaw and slammed it into the ground. Another hunter-like creature emerged from the shadows, and Aaron twisted, throwing the first into the second. The collision sent shockwaves through the forest. Students gasped, terrified and awed. He's unstoppable," one whispered. Aaron didn't answer. He moved with calm precision, blocking, redirecting, and controlling the battlefield. Every strike, every dodge was executed with perfect timing. He wasn't fighting for survival. He was orchestrating the trial. A low hum filled the air. The forest shifted. Trees bent and cracked as if alive. The ground pulsed with energy, growing warmer, denser. The core, it's near, Aaron murmured. Suddenly, a metallic gate rose from the ground ahead of them. Smooth black massive. Strange alien symbols glowed faintly across its surface. Students stopped, staring in disbelief. What is that?" one boy asked. Aaron stepped forward. "It reacts to me," he said softly, touching the gate. It glowed blue, the same color as his eyes. The gate opened, revealing a long corridor lined with blue lights and alien inscriptions. Inside, the air was cold and heavy. The corridor stretched into darkness, alive with a faint hum. Aaron led the students carefully, guiding the injured girl. Each step echoed through the passage like a heartbeat. This doesn't feel like a planet anymore," whispered a teacher. "It's artificial." Aaron nodded. "It was built by an ancient race," he explained. "They monitor life, test strength, awaken potential. This is the core zone, the center of their trial." The corridor ended in a vast circular chamber. Massive pillars surrounded a floating orb, pulsing like a living heart. Energy radiated from it, filling the room with a soft, blue glow. Students stared, awestruck and fearful. Aaron approached the orb. He didn't hesitate, didn't show surprise. He looked as though he had been here before. Mr. Lean stepped forward, voice trembling. "Aaron, what is this? Why are we here?" Aaron's eyes darkened slightly. "This world, these trials, they were built to find humans capable of survival beyond normal limits. Not just strength, but intelligence, strategy, and resilience." A whisper echoed through the chamber. The orb pulsed violently. A deep, resonant voice spoke, ancient and alien. "Human identified. Power level high. Activating final trial. ER3 project." The students froze. It's talking," one whispered. Aaron's eyes flickered. "ER3 project. That is my designation. I was trained for this since childhood. This trial is not for ordinary humans. It is for the rare few capable of facing what comes next." Suddenly, a beam of red energy shot from the orb, striking Aaron. He raised his arm, blue energy radiating from his body, and blocked it. The force pushed him back, sliding across the floor. Students gasped. "You are going to die," shouted one teacher. Aaron smiled slightly. "No. This is the final test. The true trial." His eyes blazed blue as threads of energy danced across his skin. The orb pulsed violently, testing him, measuring him, awakening the full force within. A shockwave of energy burst outward from Aaron's fists. The chamber trembled. The orb recoiled, pulsing red, then blue again. Silence fell. The students stared, shaken, as Aaron slowly breathed, alive, victorious. He turned to them, voice quiet but heavy with meaning. "This trial is over. The Deathworld tested me, but the real challenge is not here. It waits in the galaxy. Humanity must be ready. And one day, it will be." The orb's glow dimmed. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, thousands of stars illuminated. A dark shadow moved across the stars like a creeping storm, an army alive, unstoppable. The students' faces turned pale. That is the enemy," Aaron whispered. "Something that has destroyed worlds. Something even this trial feared. And when it comes, humans will fight. And we will survive." A cold wind swept through the chamber. The trials were over, but the real war was just beginning. The quiet human, the boy who survived the Deathworld, had proven what humanity was capable of. And now the galaxy would learn. The galaxy was silent, but for how long no one knew. From the Deathworld core, Aaron and the students observed the holographic map. The dark swarm, moving like a living storm, consumed star systems at an alarming rate. Entire human colonies had already fallen, and the survivors were scattered across the void. Aaron's eyes glowed faintly blue as he studied the map. "This is not a natural enemy," he said. "It adapts, evolves, and grows stronger with every world it destroys. They call themselves the Shroud." A teacher whispered, trembling. "Aaron, can we stop them?" Aaron turned slowly. "We don't stop them, not yet. We prepare. Humanity must learn, adapt, and strike where they least expect." His gaze shifted toward the students. "You've survived the Deathworld trials. You are not ordinary humans anymore. One day you will fight beside me. And today, we begin our first step." The group exited the core zone. The Deathworld behind them pulsed once, then fell silent as if it acknowledged Aaron's victory. Their transport ship waited above, shimmering in the black sky. The students boarded, still shaken but now inspired. The quiet boy who survived the Deathworld had become a symbol of hope. Back on Earth, humanity's leaders convened in secret. Aaron stood among them, his calm presence dominating the room. Holographic displays showed fleets, weapons, and communications intercepted from alien civilizations. They underestimate us, Aaron said softly. They think humanity is weak, that we panic, that we cannot adapt. They are wrong. An admiral frowned. Aaron, these fleets are centuries ahead of our technology. How do we fight them? Aaron smiled faintly. We don't fight them with what they expect. We fight them with what they cannot understand. Strategy, adaptability, human ingenuity. Weeks passed. Humanity mobilized in secret. Shipyards worked day and night. Scientists reverse-engineered alien technologies recovered from destroyed colonies. Aaron trained select soldiers, teaching them what he had learned on the Deathworld. Speed, tactics, anticipation, and the hidden power within humans. The first battle came sooner than expected. A Shroud strike fleet emerged near the outer rim of human space, their massive ships moving like predators. Human colonies braced for annihilation. Aaron stood on the command bridge of the flagship Sentinel. The students turned soldiers, now confident and disciplined, manned stations around him. This is not just defense, he said. This is a demonstration. Show them humans are not weak. Show them we are unstoppable. The Shroud fleet attacked. Energy beams tore through space. Human ships were smaller, less armored, but they moved unpredictably, coordinated, anticipating every strike. Aaron's eyes glowed bright blue as he analyzed patterns, predicting enemy movements, directing human fleets with surgical precision. One Shroud flagship opened fire, aiming to destroy the human command center. Aaron spoke softly into the comms. Focus fire on their left flank. Use their momentum against them. In seconds, the human fleet shifted like a living organism. Smaller ships darted between enemy fire, disabling key engines and weapon systems. The Shroud flagship faltered, its massive energy cannon exploding in a flash of light. Other Shroud ships hesitated, confused by the humans' unconventional tactics. On the bridge, a student whispered in awe. How can one human make such a difference? Aaron didn't answer. He was too focused, calculating every movement, every energy reading. The human fleet pressed the advantage, exploiting weaknesses, adapting faster than the alien fleet could comprehend. One by one, Shroud ships fell, retreating in confusion. The humans had won, against impossible odds. Back on the Sentinel, the crew erupted in celebration, but Aaron remained calm. This is only the beginning, he said. They will return stronger. But now we have hope. Humanity is waking. Humanity is rising. And we will not be underestimated again. News spread across human space. Colonies inspired by the victory began preparing, training, and arming themselves. The galaxy's advanced civilizations who had previously mocked humanity as weak, began to take notice. Reports of humans surviving impossible battles, defeating overwhelming odds, and adapting faster than any known species reached alien councils. A diplomat from the Zalari, an insectoid species, addressed a human assembly. We underestimated your species, she said. We thought you fragile, primitive, incapable of interstellar strategy. We were wrong. You are extraordinary. Aaron, standing silently behind the humans, observed the galaxy. The Shroud still advanced, but humanity had changed. No longer were they prey. No longer were they weak. Humans were cunning, adaptable, and capable of feats no other species could match. He turned to the students who had survived the Deathworld. You've seen what humanity can do, he said. Remember this. We fight not just for survival, but to protect what makes us human. Intelligence, creativity, resilience, and the ability to rise against impossible odds. As the fleet moved toward the next Shroud outpost, Aaron's eyes glowed brighter. The galaxy will learn what it truly means to face humanity. And somewhere in the cold darkness between stars, the Shroud observed the humans who had survived against all odds. Confusion, anger, and fear spread through their ranks. They had faced the unexpected before, but never like this. Never a species that could adapt so fast, strike so precisely, and endure so much. The quiet human who had survived the Deathworld, the boy once ignored in a classroom, now led the first step of humanity's rise. And the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. The galaxy trembled. The Shroud, a living storm of destruction, advanced toward the human core systems. Entire fleets had already fallen before the humans could prepare. But this time the humans were ready. This time they had Aaron. The Sentinel hovered above the ruined surface of a strategic human colony. Behind it, hundreds of ships lined up, an armada of ingenuity, courage, and adaptation. Aaron stood on the bridge, eyes glowing faint blue. The students who had survived the death world, now fully trained soldiers, manned the ships. They were no longer children. They were warriors. A massive shroud flagship appeared in orbit, its surface black and jagged, energy pulsating like it was alive. Its fleet spread around it, thousands of smaller ships moving in perfect formation, ready to annihilate anything in its path. "This is it," Aaron said softly, voice calm but commanding. "The enemy expects fear. The enemy expects chaos. We give them none. Humanity strikes with precision. Humanity strikes as one." The Shroud flagship fired first, beams of crimson energy tearing toward the human armada. Smaller human ships dodged unpredictably, weaving between fire streams, using gravity wells, and employing unorthodox maneuvers no alien species had ever anticipated. Aaron's eyes blazed as he calculated every movement. He coordinated the fleet like a maestro. Target their engines first. Disable their firepower. Use their size against them. The human ships darted around the massive Shroud vessels, firing concentrated bursts at vulnerable points. Aaron, aboard the Sentinel, extended his awareness beyond the bridge. He could sense energy flows, weaknesses, and patterns. With a flick of his hand, he redirected a swarm of drones, turning them into a deadly net that crippled the Shroud flagship's engines. The enemy roared, a sound that echoed through space itself. Its ships attempted to adapt, but human ingenuity countered every tactic. Aaron vanished from the Sentinel's bridge, reappearing on the deck of a smaller attack ship. Within seconds, he disabled 2 Shroud destroyers, moving faster than the eye could follow, precise and lethal. A student whispered over comms, trembling. "He's unstoppable. How is one human doing this?" Aaron's voice, calm but firm, replied, "One human can be the difference, when the others follow." The battle escalated. The Shroud unleashed massive bioenergy waves, attempting to crush the human fleet. Entire star systems felt the shockwaves. Ships were obliterated, space itself shuddered. Yet humans adapted. Shields shifted frequencies, drones redirected energy, and Aaron moved among them like a ghost, invisible and lethal. Suddenly, the Shroud flagship activated a massive weapon, a red core that pulsed with destructive force, capable of annihilating entire planets. Its eyes glowed, locking onto Earth's system. Aaron stepped forward. "This ends now." He vanished in a streak of blue light, reappearing inside the Shroud flagship. Massive claws tried to stop him, energy beams fired relentlessly, but Aaron moved with impossible speed, precision, and control. He reached the core, placing both hands on the glowing red energy. Blue threads of human power surged from him, wrapping around the weapon. "Humanity will not die," he whispered. And with a pulse of blue energy, the core exploded from the inside, disabling the flagship and sending shockwaves across the fleet. The Shroud ships faltered, disorganized, confused by the humans' unexpected dominance. Across the galaxy, humans cheered as enemy ships fell. Colonies long thought lost transmitted signals of hope. Humanity had survived the impossible. Humanity had adapted. Humanity had struck back. Aaron reappeared on the Sentinel, breathing calmly. His blue glow faded, but the aura of strength remained. Students looked at him, awe and respect shining in their eyes. How did we do it?" a student asked. Aaron smiled faintly. "We survived. We adapted. We worked together. The galaxy thought we were weak, but we are human. We endure. We rise. We prevail." The alien races who had underestimated humanity took notice. Diplomatic channels buzzed with messages of fear, respect, and newfound alliance requests. The humans, once mocked as fragile, were now seen as apex strategists, warriors, and leaders. Aaron walked among his students, observing them. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "The Shroud will return. Other threats will come. But humanity will be ready. Not because we are the strongest individually, but because we never give up. We never stop learning. And we fight for each other." A holographic display appeared, showing the galaxy once more. The Shroud remnants fled, scattered and weakened. Stars shone brightly as humans rebuilt and reinforced defenses. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. A student turned to Aaron. "What happens now?" Aaron gazed at the stars, calm and composed, the quiet human who had survived the death world and led humanity to victory. "Now," he said softly, "we rise. We prepare. We ensure humanity's place in the galaxy. And one day the galaxy will remember the quiet human who survived what killed legends." The stars stretched endlessly ahead. Humanity had proven its resilience, cunning, and apex potential. And the galaxy had finally learned what it meant to face humans. The quiet boy who was once ignored in a classroom had become a legend. A symbol. A force no one could challenge. And in the silence that followed, Aaron smiled faintly, knowing humanity had only just begun its rise to supremacy.